Jai Shri Krishna, and let us do the Srimad Bhagavad. And if you remember correctly, we were doing the duties of a householder, that is the Grahastha Ashram. That is what we were doing, and we are doing it from the discourses of Srimad Bhagavad by Swami Tejomayananji. So let us continue reading The Way of the Liberation of Householders. And here Naradji says, when one lives with minimal necessities in the world and drops everything else, one attains a supreme state of existence. What is meant here is whether someone is a student or a householder, a retiree or a sannyasi, a Brahmin or a Kshatriya, a Vaishya, a Shudra, a man or a woman, anyone, one should perform every duty as worship of the Lord. One should manifest in his life all the noble qualities described earlier. We understand that we should do our duties, but we encounter countless obstacles in executing them. That is true, isn't it? There's so much dharam sankat that keeps coming up. What are these obstacles? Then what are these obstacles? Desire, anger, fear, grief, delusion, arrogance, violence, sleep, etc. These alone keep creating roadblocks for us. So now the question is, how do we conquer them? The answer given here is beautiful and should be given attention. So he says, if we never make sankalpas, we will conquer desires. A desire arises in our mind only because we have already developed a sankalpa. And what is a sankalpa? A preconceived notion. For example, we look at an object and say it is nice or beautiful and believe there is great joy in it. As a result, we think that if we get it, it will make us happy. When we entertain such notions about any object, a desire to have it arises in our mind. Therefore, we should be vigilant when sankalpas, that is, preconceived notions, start forming in our mind. We should reject them. We should stop them then and there. But by whatsoever means, we should bring our mind back to its senses and remind it not to needlessly rant and rave over imaginary notions. We are thus advised to renounce all sankalpas in order to overcome desire. Whenever we encounter in the fulfillment of our desires, we become angry. When we encounter obstacles. You know what makes you angry? You want something and it doesn't happen. You become angry. Even a simple thing, like you expected your friend to be on time. It's just that she is not on time. You are upset. You are angry because your desire to see your friend on time, there is an obstacle that has come within it. And that happens with any desire that you may have. So when we conquer desire, we also conquer anger. People often ask how they can overcome their anger. I tell them, your mind is filled with too many desires. You cannot keep desires in your mind and conquer anger. They then say, but they do not have any desires in their mind. But do we all not have the desire that everyone should praise us? This one desire is enough to trouble us throughout our life. It is like sleeping under a mosquito net, where there is just one tiny mosquito. Just one is enough to disturb us the entire night. We do not need an army of them, do we? Therefore it is said, renounce and conquer desire, and you will conquer anger. Scriptural teachings pinpoint wealth as the root cause of disaster. To run after wealth thinking it will bring us happiness is most calamitous indeed. With right understanding, we should conquer greed, lobha. And I was watching a TV serial about millionaires. And, after a certain amount, how much do you need to live? How much do you need to live after a certain amount? But when we think in terms of thousands of crores and still wanting more, how long do you think you're going to be living in this world? How long do you think your children will? And very often we have seen that even our children or grandchildren do not really enjoy it. So what are we running after? An ego that will tell us you're so rich? Again, I have heard that the very rich people have very few friends because of the jealousy, because of the problems. So what are we doing? Let's stop for a moment and think. Yes, do your duty, as Krishna says. That is something we have to remember. What Krishna told Arjuna, you've got to do your duty, you've got to do what is right, you've got to do what is your dharma. But after a certain point, that amount of greed, Arjuna was happy to have just small 5 villages. Duryodhan refused to give even that. It is said, overcome fear by knowing the oneness of the self. Think, when does fear arise in the mind? When one accepts duality and becomes established in it. He fears everything that is other than him. Not knowing the self is called delusion, that is moha. Because of ignorance of the self, we suffer grief, shoka. Grief and delusion are conquered by gaining self knowledge. So, what is the bottom line? Gain self knowledge. And knowing the scriptures is very important. I was listening to a lecture in the morning where somebody said, you don't need the scripture, just speak about your experience. And he said, experience is limited, right? And the scriptures have, they are classics because they have gone and realized that this is the truth for all times, and this is what gives you peace for all times. So scriptures are important, right? Think about what I've said, and think about what the Srimad Bhagavat says, and think about what the Gita says, until we become integrated in our thinking. But until next time, you take care and God bless.